a new home for comfort, hope, and healing. On a cold, icy February day in 2006, the walls of a former UAMS student dormitory literally crumbled to the ground, making way for a new hospital at UAMS.
When the walls come tumbling down, when the walls come rumbling, rumbling, when the walls come tumbling, crumbling down.
8 months later, groundbreaking ceremonies were held as construction work went on nearby. Another 8 months later, dignitaries returned to the site for a double topping out ceremony for the hospital and the adjoining Psychiatric Research Institute.
Let's go, take it to the top, don't stop, 'cause we'll be moving. You can make it to the top, don't stop.
Construction continued for another year and a half. 17,000 truckloads of dirt, 142 miles of electrical conduit, and enough concrete to build a sidewalk 232 miles long later, the hospital was finally ready for patients in early 2009. Finishing touches continued even as preparations began for the patient move. Dedication ceremonies for the new hospital were held on January 16, 2009.
The doctors, the nurses, the healthcare professionals, the board of trustees, the administration, the people who have given so much in the way of their own resources have built a treasure that we can hold up as competitive with anything else in the world in its class and in its genre, if you will. This place is magic.
One could easily say that a building is just a means to an end, and it really doesn't make a difference. But oh, what a difference this building will make.
It's a healing here. Oh, yeah. UAMS.
With last-minute cleaning underway, the patient move began, 1,063 days after the dorm implosion. The plan was to move patients from the old hospital into the new in 2 days. This required careful coordination with phones, computers, printers, pharmacy, nutrition services, and dozens of other components for each nursing unit. More than 500 staff members and volunteers gathered early on Saturday, January 17th, to begin the move. Among the first patients to move were 35 tiny babies in the neonatal intensive care unit. These babies spent the first days of their lives together in a room filled with bright lights, beeps, buzzes, and interruptions day and night. This all changed dramatically when the babies were moved one by one into their very own private rooms on the 5th floor of the new hospital. The first babies to arrive were 17-day-old twin girls. Other babies followed for the next several hours until they were all settled in their new rooms. Nurses could see a difference in the babies almost immediately.
We were absolutely amazed because after we made the move, I went around to talk to the nurses and asked them how they were adjusting, and they just said it was wonderful. And one of the nurses mentioned that already she could tell a difference in the babies and their ability to adapt, that they were not desaturating as much as they had been in the previous unit with all the stimuli and the noise. So it was like they already had experienced a calming feeling in themselves, seeing it in the patients, and even in the families.
You can't describe how nice it is until you actually witness it with your own eyes over here.
There's a lack of space over there. The lighting was just always, it was so dim, or all the lights were on. It always seemed like it was kind of messing with your eyes. And in here it's just a natural light from outside. We was just talking about that. She looks a lot better in here than she did over there to us, so her color and everything.
Yeah.
It's almost overwhelming, the size, but I can see all the goodness that can come out of it because each parent and each baby has a different story and a different need.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. You're not. It's not natural to have to leave your child. You know, so that's a hard thing when that first happens, you know, and you can't stay, there wasn't room, and now there is, and you can stay with them. So I think that's going to be great over here.
With 3 move teams working at all times, adult patients were quickly moved into the hospital too. Whether in wheelchairs or in beds, the patients had lots of equipment and personal items to bring with them. At times, the number of items to be moved seemed never-ending.
Well, we're moving on now. We're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up.
By the end of the first day, all the babies were settled into their new rooms. More than 140 adult patients had been moved, and the radiology department was ready to move into its new home. Both hospital patients and those using UAMS outpatient clinics will benefit from the new radiology facilities.
It's a sense of pride when you work at a place like this. I mean, you can't help but to really feel good about where you are when this place is just feels so good to be here, you know.
I expect patient satisfaction to improve just because of the surroundings that we have. And so it's great. It's hard to believe it's finally here.
I'm looking forward to the convenience of it, having everything right here together, not having to go all the way across the hospital for, find a patient. All of your radiology patients are right here. You have easy access to the ER, to interventional, and so many more elevators, just very easy access.
Another clear and sunny day, January 18th, meant more adult patient moves and the emergency department move. With trauma patients arriving at all times, timing was critical for the emergency department. The first patient arrived at the new ambulance entrance at 8 a.m., exactly when the new facility was scheduled to open. In addition to 31 private patient rooms, 3 trauma rooms, dedicated CT facilities, and more than twice the space, the new emergency department has a sophisticated communications network linking it with ambulance and trauma services across Arkansas. Dozens of patients were seen that first day, even as equipment was moved from the old emergency department to the new one. Adult patient moves continued in the hospital upstairs, while those who were moved Saturday settled in. By early afternoon, all patients had been moved, and the old hospital was empty.
Goodbye, my friend.
It was love at first sight for the new hospital.
I love it. It's beautiful. It's top of the line. They went all out in providing us with a wonderful new intensive care unit.
I would compare it on lines with MD Anderson. My mother-in-law had cancer, and she was in the MD for about several weeks, and it's very comparable. So, I mean, y'all have done a great job here. Actually, I'd say the rooms are better. The rooms are much better.
My favorite part of the new hospital is probably just how light and open, and the fact that we have so much privacy for our patients and families. The private rooms and the space, and the fact that it's planned to really meet all of their needs is really exciting.
The staff have been wonderful. They have gone above and beyond, and they are so excited about the space that they're going to be working in. They're so excited for their families to have space, to feel comfortable at the bedside, and they're just wonderful people. Everyone has gone above and beyond. They've been cordial with each other. They've stayed even though the schedule got off a little bit. They're the best part about the place. The building is wonderful, but the people are what's going to make the building so successful.
From the beautiful lobby and space for kids to play, to high-tech monitoring systems, private rooms, and plenty of patient and visitor parking, it's truly a new UAMS medical center, staffed by people committed to creating comfort, hope, and healing for patients and families.
There's so many people we've thought about how can we thank people, because it's just been an amazing team effort. So we're very very proud of them.